Chapter 4 Season 3 has come to a close, and it's been an interesting season for my improvement. I got half the PR I had from last season while only playing 5 events. I knew I wasn't going to play duos, but was still going to practice solos just in case I was able to play some victory cups. I started scrimming and VOD reviewing to start the season, and in the first cash cup I got my best placement opens at 127. But my mid-game rotates were really bad in finals because I was still used to being able to rotate last second with blades and did not realize how fast those zones move, so I kept getting caught backside, leaving me shambles. After VOD reviewing and scrimming that week, I was able to get really good positions and loot in finals, but sold right before endgame. After this, I wasn't able to play a cash cup for 40 days and I stopped practicing entirely, but was able to play the second to last cash cup and had a shaky opens but made it to round 2. In there, I accidentally created the god combo with an augment I'd never used before and had a good chance to win the game, and it went like this. I only made one other endgame that tournament where I got 11th, but was happy to play it and was able to make a video out of it. I was lucky enough to be able to play the last victory cup as well and ended up getting my record points at 103. I could have had the top 100, but my reaction time at the end of this game was awful. Finals went pretty bad and I was making a lot of dumb mistakes mid-game that made me shambles going into endgame, but I was happy with the opens performance because even though I didn't practice as much, I saw myself fixing mistakes and applying things I learned in earlier cash cups. In duels, I was only able to run one cash cup, which I played with Leaf. We didn't have a single successful key game, didn't get island once, and kept dying 7th place, but somehow managed to give ourselves a chance to call in our last game, which went like this.
Dead.
Nice.
Get the body. Stay on this good. Fight, come here.
Yep.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah.
I pulled out some. I'm stuck in this. I'm good. Behind us.
I got up.
At clear wall. I'm just getting spam drop. I made it. I have another slave. I'm on your left, Hal. Hold. I'm ADS pump. They're gonna come out this break. 100. Dead.
Behind.
Yep. I didn't get those builds. There's a kid under the rim.
The tournament itself wasn't great and I played pretty bad, but it was fun to play duels for the first time in a while. Since I knew I wasn't going to play many tournaments this season, the main focus was to improve my aim, mechanics, and fighting. But this is where things go wrong, and I made a mistake I've made in past seasons where I had no goal set for what I wanted to improve on specifically and spent a whole season aimlessly practicing. I'm sure overall I've gotten better at the game, but I couldn't tell you specifically what I've improved that's getting me closer to better tournament results. The only time I was able to see a noticeable difference in my skill was the week I made the crosshair progression video. My goal is to see how much I can improve my crosshair placement in a week, and I made a routine to follow every day and the improvement showed. My main issues now are my aim and my fighting in game. I never got to work on these issues because I stayed in my comfort zone when practicing, which is the absolute worst thing you could do if you want to get better. I would Kovacs without proper technique, like not switching after a miss on shotgun scenarios and aiming for the body in certain tracking scenarios because it was easier. The second I forced myself to follow the technique, my scores got lower but my aim got better, and now I'm starting to get back to the same scores I was getting before. I would also PG all the time and rarely play any realistics or arena. I can hang with my friends in PGs for the most part, but you could clearly see the difference in skill once we play realistics. In ranked it's the same thing. I'm not nearly as good as a fighter due to lack of experience in game, and that has an impact on my tournament games because I don't have the confidence to key, so I never have any high kill games or I end up dying to dumb mistakes costing games that could have put me in the top 100. Ranked is going to be one of my main focuses next season because my in-game fighting needs the most work and that can help with my aim as well. My actual aim isn't actually that bad, the problem is I'll panic or rush shots in important moments. In these clips you can see since I'm rushing to get a shot off, I'm unintentionally flicking and missing the shot for no reason. The more comfortable I get in those situations, the better my aim will get. People who don't play Kovacs but still have good aim will tell you that they just played the game and got good aim, and I think that that's the part that I'm missing. If I'm playing creative, I need to force myself out my comfort zone and play more realistics or force myself to learn new builds when free building, because as long as I'm doing the same builds, I may get more consistent with them, but there's a cap on how much better I'll get. I was watching a video on improving in Kovacs by Christmas is Cancelled, and he made a really good point about staying in your comfort zone, which I'll play a part of right now.
And people ask about improving their score in 1 wall 6 target small, the same thing always happens. They post a run where they have a really high accuracy, for example they are 109 out of 112, and ask how to get better. I ask them how many of the runs end up with that accuracy and they say all of them. If you want to be able to hit more targets, don't you think that you should shoot more times? If you shoot 112 times and hit 109 targets, why even play at that speed anymore? You can play for 2 weeks and increase your average to 110, but is that slow of progress really worth your time? What you need to do is increase the difficulty of the scenario and shoot more times. Start shooting 120 times for example. You might not be able to hit 109 targets at that speed, but the potential of improvement is much greater.
This can apply to a lot more than just Kovacs, and it helped me realize what I need to do differently to improve. I'm not playing comp next season at all because of my inconsistent work schedule, so the goal is to get as good as I can fighting and aiming wise. That way when I come back to comp the season after, my main focus can be on game sense and spend the majority of my time scrimming and VODing. A lot of my content is going to be around ranked and becoming a better fighter, and I'll be streaming my progression every day starting September, so be sure to follow me on Twitch, it's the first link in the description. In terms of YouTube content, I started this channel doing a weekly series covering my improvement and would talk about the things I learned and how I improved for that week. The bad parts of my gameplay were highlighted, and it was relatable content since I was an average player and people my skill level could see what I was doing to improve. Then I started making full videos on what used to just be a section of those videos so I could give more information and content, like separating tournaments and creating series tracking my fighting and IGL progression. But I feel like I've done less of that content recently and I'm not as open when it comes to showing bad parts of my gameplay. In my crosshair progression vid, I showed some of my mess ups in the early days but excluded a lot of the struggling throughout the week and showed my best runs for the day. I set a goal to post 12 videos in August since I was barely uploading in the months prior, but found myself rushing videos and choosing topics that took less time to make so I could have videos out on time. But found that strayed away from what made me start YouTube in the first place, which was documenting my progression to becoming a pro and showing things that I learned that can help people my skill level or lower improve and see someone else's journey. I'll be going back to making content like that, and I'm still going to work really hard to be consistent with videos, but I'm going to make sure that the video is the highest quality possible instead of rushing to get it out at a certain time. But to make up for uploading less frequently, I'll be streaming every day on Twitch as I mentioned earlier. I want to thank you guys for supporting me this far, and I promise you this new season will be my best for content yet. Be sure to like and subscribe and use code HOWL when buying the battle pass or anything else from the item shop. Thanks for watching and I'll catch you guys later.